Hello, my friends. Thank you for joining me for episode 90. Whether you are on Facebook Live or YouTube or listening to the podcast, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I always love running into everybody who listens and just hearing what episode you're on and what you're taking away from it. So please continue to share with me. Continue to also share your requests. What do you want to talk about? Okay, so before I get into today's fun topic, I want to just quickly give you an update on the amazingly fun, also fun online learning program that I'm working on. I want to give a huge shout out and a huge thank you to Karen and Sherry and John who are helping me proof this site and truly get any little silly mistakes out, as well as some big things like color and consistency, and it's so beautiful. It's looking so beautiful. So, spoiler alert, I'm going on vacation, but later on this month, this online learning program is going to be going live, and it's called You Have Superpowers. We all do have superpowers, but we don't always understand and realize what they are and how they're working. But biologically, they're working. So we better be aware of it, and we better be intentional and purposeful with it. So this program really touches on 3 superpowers that we have within us. But are you using it? All right, so stay tuned. Stay tuned for more information. And if you'd like to be on my mailing list, if you'd like some more details, let me know, and we will make sure that you are the first to know. All right, so let's talk about today's topic. It's all about vlogging. It sounds like a bad thing. Now that I say it out loud, it sounds like flogging, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying vlogging, V-L-O-G, vlog. It's not a blog. It's not a flog. It's a vlog. It's a video log. Okay, so it's not an old concept. I'm sorry, it's not a new concept. It's kind of old, but it's taken on a whole new light for me. You know, when I go on vacations, for me, a vacation is all about adventure and relaxation and capturing the moment. I want to capture the moment. I want to capture all the senses, the pictures, the videos, so that I can see and hear and relive the moment. I wish we had smell vision so I could capture the smell, but I have found some really good lotions. When I was in Hawaii, I found really good lotion that smelled just like the flowers that we had our homemade leis made out of. Oh, it was wonderful. So there's a way to capture the smells of wherever you're going. But I just love capturing everything about a vacation because a vacation is rare. It's not like I do it every day yet. Maybe that'll take me there someday. But for right now, it's like a once, twice time a year. Some of the places we go to, maybe it's only once in a lifetime type of thing. You know, back in my younger years, like 3 years ago maybe and before, I mean, I've always captured pictures, but it's not always been on my instant smartphone. Back in the day, I mean, it was on the camera. It was on, well, there was 35 millimeter, but there was also like 110. Is that right? Right, the film, and you had no idea the quality of the pictures until you got it developed. So then everything came back, and I would get those photo albums with the self-adhesive pages, and I would make my own photo album, but scrapbook. That's what they're called. I would make my own scrapbook before scrapbooking was a thing. So I didn't have the fancy scissors and the cute embellishment stickers, and I didn't have the beautiful paper. It was literally these self-adhesive photo albums, the things that are really not good for your photos. But I would create my own scrapbook. So we're planning a trip out west this summer, and I got my scrapbook out from 1986. I know that the first night we stayed in Mitchell, South Dakota at a Super 8 because I cut out the Super 8 logo out of a flyer and I put it there on page 1. And I know there was another day within the trip that we drove the whole day because literally the whole page, I cut out letters throughout all of these little brochures to spell out drive whole day. that was my scrapbooking, and I loved it. I was like, I don't know, 10, 12 years old. I had a journal. I would write down what we did every day so I didn't get confused on the days. I was very intentional. We also had, I remember this more from when my son was born, so 20 8 years ago or so, we had a camcorder. The bag that it came in was so huge, it was like its own carry-on on the airplanes. I mean, really, I should have gotten its own rolling case, but rolling cases weren't a thing back then. Uh, but this camcorder was humongous. You know, it sat on your shoulder. You put in these cartridges. They weren't, well, at times, I guess one of our camcorders was a whole VHS tape that we could put in. But otherwise, they were smaller cartridges. That way you can carry many of them and kind of swap them out. But then when you got home, you'd have to convert it from the cartridge onto a VHS tape. There were no CDs yet. So yeah, we have a lot of cartridges and I have no idea how to get the movies off of them. But anyway, we took the movies, and whenever we can see those movies, it's fun. It's really fun, right? Because the kids are young, and it's fun. I love seeing, obviously, the ages, but also what clothes were we wearing, what vehicle were we driving, you know, even when you look at certain pictures, to see whatever's behind you, to see the cars that everyone was driving, or to see just the styles. I love that. I love it. That's part of capturing the moment. That's part of the memory mementos that we are purposeful with, right? And sometimes it is a journal. Oh, a journal. That sounds so fancy. Man, I remember when I was 10 or 12 and we took that trip out west, it was a notebook. Like, go to Shopco and buy your notebook for school, and that's what I used to journal. But it was with, you know, a notebook and a pen, a black pen. Nothing fancy about it, right? Okay, so now let's fast forward in my life to last August. So last August, I took a vacation with my mom to Sweden. And I was very intentional, right? We're going to spend 2 weeks in Sweden. That is kind of a long time, right? I want to make sure that I'm capturing the moment. I have a new baby niece. She's like days old, obviously a foreign country. I want to capture everything. So I was intentional, and I took my journal with me. By the way, I write in my journal like once a year. So that was going to be my once a year. I took it with me. I had a pen. I had everything I needed. I had every intention to journal my foreign adventures, but I quickly found I'm not a journaler. Duh. If I only journal once a year, I'm not a journaler. I should have known that. I didn't like writing. My hand cramped up really fast, and I just got bored with the process. I'm a fast typer, but I didn't always want to boot up my computer. Actually, I didn't. Not always. It was like the first night. I didn't want to boot up my computer to recap and type and write. So what does that mean? Does that mean that I'm not going to capture the moments? Nope. I quickly adapted, and I didn't even realize it wasn't like intentional or purposeful. It just was happening. I was taking lots of pictures. I was taking videos. And then I had a lot of alone time because I would go grocery shopping and just figuring out the system of the transportation. I would have this time where I would just take videos of myself kind of talking about what I'm learning or what I'm doing. So I had these files on my phone. Let's use them. Let's put it together and let's use them. I have never created my own little informal video, but I figured it out. And it was really, really a lot of fun. So after the first video that I created, then I was on a roll, or I was on a mission, I should say. Then my whole goal was, hey, let's create a video every day, which didn't happen. I think in 14 days I created like 5 videos, that's good. That's good. Otherwise, I get bored watching every day in action, right? But I also found that I don't have to have state-of-the-art knowledge to do this. I mean, it's like back when I was 12 years old, creating a scrapbook with cutouts from brochures. There's nothing fancy and gorgeous about this. There's nothing professional about it, but it's done. And I still look at it today. So when I became a vlogger last August, I wasn't using state-of-the-art equipment. I was using my Pixel phone, which is a good phone, right? It has a good camera and video camera, but it wasn't like, here, let me show you my studio. It wasn't like a camera like that or lighting like that. If you're watching on the video, you will see some of my equipment. It wasn't like that. I didn't have that with me. And it was just what I ever had. When I created these videos, it wasn't with perfect transitions and perfect lighting and perfect posture. I know one video I was kind of crouched over on a park bench because it was a long day. I walked for 4 miles to get groceries and I missed my bus exit. And yeah, go out to YouTube and find those videos. They're kind of funny. I didn't have the right anything. I mean, my hair was a mess, but that's what makes it so awesome. That's what makes it so wonderful, because I was compiling in the moment memories, in the moment videos, pictures, all that. It was wonderful. Okay, so to create this memory keeper, I'm going to share with you my tips. Feel free to adopt this. I'm hitting vacation season tomorrow. I have a few this summer, so it's funny. I only really vlog when I'm on vacation. That's okay. That's good. That's good. That's kind of the only time I really allow myself that fun. But I'm going to share with you my tips. So use it. Take advantage of these tips, or better yet, delegate this duty to some young child that's also vacationing with you who loves to be on their phone every day. Do you know any people like that? Maybe it's a spouse, maybe it is you, but regardless, give them the very important title of family historian. I mean, really, that is a deal. Family historian. Okay, so here's what I did. The first thing I did is I went out to my store on my phone and I downloaded a free video editor. That's exactly what I typed in. Free video editor. I think the one that I downloaded was called UCut, if I remember right. But I think Vimeo has one. I mean, they're out there, and it probably depends on what kind of phone that you have. So pick one that has good reviews and free, because they're out there. Okay, the next thing I did, since you have a little prep time here, I would recommend that you download the editor now and you practice with the files you have on your phone right now, just so that you get to know what you need to do, right? You need videos, you need pictures, you can put them together. You can just practice so that when you're on vacation, you're not learning the tool. But also, you need to see the possibilities. And that's just going to enlighten you when you are on vacation, as you are creating these memory documents, right? All right, so get to know the cut feature, by the way. The cut feature is very important. It never fails. I take videos that are just too long and they're really boring, but there's this little piece in the middle that I really thought was great. Well, when you create your own videos, you can cut it to only be that piece. So just get to know the features. Play with it. Okay, now it's time for vacation. Now what do? Well, you take lots of videos and pictures. That's what you do. Get creative with it. Take panoramic pictures. Take slow motion videos. Take some or add some unique filters to all of this that you're creating. Last year when we were in the Bahamas, one of my favorite videos was a time-lapse video of a starfish turning over. Okay, that was about 3 to 4 minutes to watch the starfish do the complete process, but it was time-lapse. I purposely started a time-lapse video on my phone, so it was less than 30 seconds in my video. And what was really cool is I could cut the video into pieces and paste pictures on top. So I showed you a sea urchin, and then I came back to the starfish flipping, and then I showed you a nurse shark, and then I came back to the starfish flipping a little more. So it was really neat that I thought ahead to take this time-lapse video, because it made for a really fun video. And again, you know what? You want to check those out? Those videos of mine are public out in my YouTube, the Unity Consulting YouTube channel. So you can see the starfish flipping over if you want. Okay, so after you create all of your files, then you're going to go back into your video editor and you're going to compile it, and you're really going to create your video log. In essence, you're creating another video with all those other files. I mean, that's really what's happening. So once you get it where you want, you added music, you put some text on top of certain pictures to make sure it's understandable, especially if you want to watch it in the future. Then you can publish this new video. Publish it on YouTube or Vimeo. You don't have to make them public. You can make it private and share the link with everybody that you know or everybody that's interested. Maybe everybody who's traveling with you or the family that's back home, or share publicly, whichever you want. But then here's my favorite part. Then you can go back to your phone and you can delete all of those big files that were added to this vlog. So all those videos take up a lot of space, and I don't always have a lot of space left on my phone. I can delete it because I added it to my vlog and I cut it to only what I really wanted. I don't need the original file anymore. Some people are a little nervous to do that, but once you publish your video, you got what you want, right? Okay, so there's just my quick tips that I would recommend. Not a professional vlogger, but I am an amateur enough to get my own memories created. But what lesson did I learn here? Oh, of course there's a lesson to learn, right? Okay, so before I left for Sweden, my goal was to capture memories by journaling. That was my goal. But very quickly in the trip, the how of my goal changed. Like with the first or second day, the how of my goal changed. Sometimes I'm kind of hard on myself. I feel like if I don't stick with the whole plan, I failed. But is that fair? Is that fair and even possible? I mean, did you know that after the space shuttle takes off, it is only on course 2% of the time? It's only on its intended course or path 2% of the time. Whether they're going to the moon or they're just going to space. And for whatever reasons, I don't know if it's the winds or probably a lot of scientific stuff that I don't really understand. For whatever reason, it's just impossible to stay on that straight, narrow path. I mean, it's kind of like driving. When you're driving, you don't just hold the steering wheel still on a straight path. You're constantly adjusting. Well, that's what the space shuttle does. That's what we need to do. My goal was to create how did I word it? I wanted to create my memories or capture. That was my word. I wanted to capture my memories. That was my goal. By journaling was my how. It's okay. It's okay to change your path or change your how, but it's never okay to change your goal. If I wouldn't have captured anything, if I would have been just frustrated, just quit on this whole goal, that would have been a failed goal. But I didn't. There was something in me that's like, no, let's just twist it up a little bit without even thinking of this purposeful intention of goal setting. It was just there within me. My goal was to capture the adventure. My goal was not to journal for 14 days. So it's okay to change your how. It's okay to change your plan. It's okay to change your path. It's almost necessary. We have to. So what goal are you working toward right now? I encourage you, give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to change your course or change your plan. Earlier this year, I had a goal to release my online learning program by January 13th. That didn't happen, and now it's May. But I'm over it. I'm over it because it's better than it would have been in January. And there's only so much you can think of and experience in a plan until you're there. There was so much I wasn't thinking of regarding my program. But now I'm there and realizing, this plan, the how, it has to change because the goal of my online program is still going to happen, just better. So what's your goal? Give yourself permission to change your plan. Change your course. It's okay. You're still going to reach the goal. It's just going to be better. Have a great week and have fun with the processes that you're working with toward your goal. See you next week.